Dear Dad, I recently took a class called Sexual Citizenship and learned so much. Much of it was pretty surprising. Honestly, I wish that I had learned most of this information from you or by your example. I wish that you would have taught me how to communicate and not just superficial things but my real emotions. I wish that I did not feel so much stress and anxiety when I want to tell someone how I honestly feel. I wish that I did not feel that I'm compromising my masculinity every time I cry or feel too emotional about something. I wish that you could have taught me how to express my emotions rather than letting them bubble up inside of me. Dad, why didn't you tell me it's okay for boys to cry and to hurt, and that it's okay to play with the girls at recess and pursue a typically female career? I wish that you could have taught me how to be a man who cares, a man who loves, and a man who does not fall guilty to toxic masculinity.
Dear Mom and Dad, I haven't been in abusive relationships or experienced traumatic sexual interactions. In fact, I've had no sexual encounters. All this time, I was trying to fit into the normal mold and blend in. I distracted myself with sports and schoolwork. I ignored everything about my sexuality and filled that space with other things because I didn't know any better. I wish you would have told me that I wasn't a freak, regardless of what our church said.
I shoved every feeling I had inside and reverted back to who I was when I was 13, before I became something unacceptable, gay.
My small town middle school was definitely not teaching the rounding sex education that all of us desperately needed. Not once was there anything mentioned about relationships outside of heteronormative viewpoints. I needed more. We all needed more.
Even though the world is full of sex, the secrecy you instilled in me kept me from having a safe place to process that and get help. The secrecy meant I didn't tell you when a group of guys at school harassed me or didn't get my period for 5 years. The secrecy meant I didn't tell you when men online sent me dick pics or chatted with me about very inappropriate things. The world is full of sex, and what do you have for keeping me so sheltered? A daughter who's still gay. A daughter who still figured out how to have sex. A daughter who will never be honest about their relationship or their mental health or their favorite books or shows, because what if there's a sex scene?
When I finally built up the courage to tell you, you made it all about you. You were afraid of how this would affect our family, and my feelings got pushed to the side. You were fixated on how I knew. You said repeatedly that you didn't want this life for me. I didn't either. I tried to change it. I hated myself for so long. When you let your feelings diminish mine, it only made me feel even more like who I was something bad, or that I should be feared.
Taking the topic of sex off the table means you'll never really know me, because as a teen and as an adult, sex is inseparable from life and culture and ourselves. I needed you to talk to me about sex for so many reasons. So I knew you were a safe place to bring questions and concerns. So I knew you accepted me. So I knew I was normal. But most of all, I needed it to have a real relationship with you that exists beyond face value.
I wish that your dad would have had these conversations with you and his before him. I guess that's why it's called a vicious cycle. I hope that we can move on from this and that maybe one day we can have a conversation about what it means to be a man and how to engage the world in a healthy way.
Were you scared or trying to protect my innocence? These topics are important for all children. We need to know what healthy relationships look like and that there is no normal. I just needed your acceptance and permission to be the most authentic version of myself that I could be. I mean, after all, the world has bigger problems than guys who kiss guys and girls who kiss girls.
I appreciate it, bro. You like some?